Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the No Food Rules news. Today we have a lot of good stories that we're going to chat about today. We've got a little bit of everything. I'll get into that in a minute. If you are new to the No Food Rules news, hello, my name is Colleen. I am a non-diet registered dietitian, and I put out these episodes every Thursday just to go through anything that I've seen in the news or pop culture or new research and just kind of chat about them as it relates to food, nutrition, body image. So that's what you can expect in this episode. These are meant for you to grab a snack, grab a cup of coffee, don't spill it like I just did. I literally have towels all over my floor because I'm like, I'll deal with it later. That's what you can expect here. So these are fun, casual episodes for you to just enjoy a little bit of extra content for you guys. Delicious. I'm so mad I spilled like half of it, but that's okay. Like I said, today in this episode, also, if you're not and you're like, cool, that kind of sounds like my jam, or you do listen to these every week, be sure to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like button on this video, all of the things if you like these episodes. And let me know also what types of stories you like. We have a smattering. I'm going to set my coffee down because if there's one thing to know about me, it's that I talk with my hands a lot and I get excited about this stuff. I have coffee everywhere. Oh my gosh. Oh, anywho. Okay, so we have a smattering of things to chat about today. We have a couple TikTok trends, both food and fitness. We have some pop culture news. We have a new research study to chat about. So we've got a lot of things and some food news. We've got it all today, you guys. Let's get into it. We've got a lot to cover. Story number one. We've got 5 stories today. I usually try to round up 5. There was a lot this week, but we tried to slim it down to the 5 that I felt were the most important. So I lost my spot. Okay, story 1. This is a little bit of TikTok news. So it says, it's official. Sardines are New York City's new it food with nearly 1 billion TikTok views to prove it. Sardines. I think it is bananas, you guys, how just the most seemingly random stuff can go viral. So TikTok's tinned fish trend has hit a fever pitch. Hashtag sardine, hashtag sardines have a combined 831 million views as plenty of canned food enthusiasts brag about being sardine satisfied while munching on the slippery suckers. The soaring demand for the so-called hot girl food has, as it's been dubbed on Reddit, has even caused a nationwide tin seafood shortage in January. So it's August now. The article is recent, but it says in January. So apparently this trend has been going on for a while. And the article talks about, it specifically calls out New York City because they have this like sardine, like, I don't know, emporium, is that the right word? But this just like crazy place with so many sardines and so many different types, very expensive ones. And I thought this was funny because like I said, the most seemingly random food trends can go viral on social media, specifically TikTok. Like, do you guys remember when people were like eating oranges in their showers? Am I the only one who remembers that? This was like not super long ago, like I would say within the past year. And just like, I swear if someone does it on TikTok, like you could do it for no reason and people will start doing it. It's like some of those, like, it's almost like those social experiment studies where there was one I feel like I was reading about this relatively recently where there was someone who was in like a waiting room and every time like the door opened, they stood up and then more and more people just kind of kept catching on. When the door opened, they would stand up and then the person who started it left and the people were still doing it. So just wild. But I thought this was funny too because but also I went on a sardine kick. This must have been, I want to say like 2 summers ago. I went on, and this was completely random. A bit of gentle nutrition that you can do. So gentle nutrition is how I talk about implementing nutrition information in a non-obsessive, compulsive way, in a flexible way, gently, right? So one bit of gentle nutrition that I recommend is to just change things up. And I was thinking about it and I was like, what can I change up for my lunches? And I was randomly like, oh, let's try sardines. I'm a fan of having a protein source with my meal to help me feel more full and satisfied. But then also I'm a fish girly. I like canned tuna because it's so convenient and super cheap. But I like all like seafood. So like, let me give these a try. So I got some and I was like, these aren't bad. I think I just ate them like open faced on toast. And I was like, I can get down with these. And there are some different health benefits: omega-3s, B vitamins for great for heart health, calcium for strong bones. And so it can be a really great addition there. So like from a dietitian standpoint, I am honestly all for this. I think they're great. I think they're definitely either someone's cup of tea or they're not. Like I could definitely see if you're like, okay, that's great, Colleen, but I'm never going to eat those because I can't stand like looking at little fish on toast. Like I'm not going to do it. Then this is not a trend for you. But I also love that they're a cheap source of protein. I always talk about this, guys. I'm just a Midwest gal who likes to stick to a grocery budget. And I think I'm all for this, but I just thought it was so funny. I was like, the things that you don't think are going to go viral, go viral. So I just thought this was a really funny one. If you've been on the fence or if you want to give them a try, definitely do it. The store that they talk about in New York City was selling, I think, like 4-ounce tins of them for like $15 or something like that. You can get them for like under $1 at Aldi. Then they actually had some different ones. They had like ones in mustard sauce. I don't think I loved those ones that much. I think I just like the regular ones. I'm trying to remember how I ate them on toast. Maybe I'll have to get some. I don't know if I still have a can. I think I just did like toast, maybe. I couldn't tell you what I did. I must have put something else on there, right? I don't know. If you guys like sardines or you have any sardine recommendations, please drop a comment and let me know how you like to eat them. I would love to know. I might need to do a little Pinteresting. Let's actually do that really quick. I'm just curious, if I type in like sardine recipes, what's going to come up? Sardine recipes. Oops. I can't type, you guys. Nope, still not right. Okay. Sardine salad people are making, sardine rice bowl, sardine fish cakes, kind of like a crab cake. Some people are just sauteing them, roasting them. Oh, we could get down with the roasting. Okay, this one. This sounds kind of like what maybe I think I did. So toast, tomatoes, sardines. This one has a little bit of red onion, and then it looks to be some basil on top. Okay, there we go. There we've got some ideas. I was wondering if I would see any pasta ones. I feel like sardines and pasta rings a bell. So just go on Pinterest, guys. Sardine salad, so kind of like tuna salad, but cool. I would give it a go if you want, you guys. Apparently it's trendy. So we've got another TikTok trend we'll talk about in a couple stories, but story number 2. This one really broke my heart, you guys. Jessica Simpson says her kids are baffled by negative comments about her weight. So the article says Jessica Simpson is putting her foot down when it comes to trolls who have made negative comments about her weight throughout her career. Simpson, who sympathized with women who have been every size, admitted that her kids have picked up on the very confusing scrutiny that she's garnered over her figure. She says, "My kids are like, I don't understand this. Why don't they just say you look pretty, Mom? You look pretty." The singer revealed of her children's reactions to the backlash. My heart, you guys, my heart. I think this just shows that multiple things. The people in our lives who love us and who are the ones that matter see us for us, right? They see us for who we are. That's one thing to remember. The other thing is that I truly feel like this shows how fat phobia and beauty standards are learned, right? Because these kids are like, I think you look pretty. I think you like, why don't they just say that? Why are they scrutinizing your weight? And I think that just shows like when we see people scrutinizing people about their weight, we instill, okay, being that size is bad, or my body shouldn't look like this. That is wrong. People don't like that. And that is how our standards get ingrained in us, right? And then that spirals on the whole, okay, well, now I don't want to look like that. So I'm going to try to shrink my body. Shrinking my body is going to make me disconnected and feel out of control around food. That's going to, then I'm going to go on a diet. Then that's actually going to cause me to gain weight. It is a messed up cycle. And just like the innocence of her kids in this, just like I said, I just felt like it hurt my heart. And I think hopefully this is also encouraging to a lot of us being like adults, that we have to do the work ourselves, and we have to watch our language, and we have to model what we want our kids to act like. And I always think it's kind of a tangent. I think it's interesting because I am pretty open about the fact that I don't know if I want to be a mom. I don't know if I want to have kids yet. I just turned 31. I don't feel pressure to have kids. No one in my life is pressuring me. I, am not worried about any sort of a clock or anything like that. And sometimes I also do like those, I did put one out yesterday, almond mom skits. And I think that no matter if you have kids like Jessica Simpson and it's your kids that are saying this stuff, or you are someone who doesn't have kids for whatever reason, it's not just the parents that need to do this work. I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at here, is that we can all, the phrase do better is on the tip of my tongue, you guys. And I'm going to be honest, I hate that phrase so much because it is so do better, do better. Like, I get the sentiment, but I can't hear it without cringing. So I refuse to actually use that phrase. But oh my goodness, I just think that this can be a reminder to everyone watching this of, we got to do the work ourselves so that these kids don't have to learn this stuff. And to imagine having that be said about your mom, like, so many of us don't have famous moms and don't see this stuff in the tabloids. I mean, I remember when Jessica Simpson was scrutinized. Remember she wore those high-waisted jeans and everyone was saying she was so large, she needs to lose weight. And she really has been put through the ringer, I feel like, with weight fluctuations. And one minute she's too thin, one minute she's too large. And to see those, I can't imagine what it must be like to see those things about your mom spread to the entire world. Absolutely just bananas, you guys, and just truly heartbreaking. And I think that also, I do think that I would recommend being proactive. I was actually having these conversations recently, as with everyone has been going back to school, being proactive with your kids, whether this is about weight, whether this is about the way that you guys talk about food, because when they go back to school, they might learn other people think food is good and bad. Other people think that I should or shouldn't eat these types of foods. And just explaining, your reasoning behind it. This is what we believe. Other people might think differently, to kind of prepare them. Obviously, this is going to depend on the age of your child as well and how you go about this. But to almost kind of prepare them for what could happen when other people say other things. So they're not like totally blindsided and be like, oh my gosh, my mom was wrong and this person's right. Just to kind of like prepare them a little bit. So anywho, guys, I'm going to grab a sip of coffee here. Man, nothing like coffee in the morning. I tell you what. Okay, so now we're back to some TikTok news for story number 3. This was actually, I really like this story. It says, what are shy girl workouts? The viral trend making the gym less intimidating. Have you guys heard of these shy girl I gotta be honest. I am not a big TikTok user myself. I post on TikTok. I scroll on TikTok. I try it. I actually, over the past few weeks, have been very, very pulled back on my social media use just from a consumption standpoint, which has felt really, really good. I'll go on and look for, any creators that I like, but I'm not mindlessly scrolling. My weeks have been absolutely bananas, and that's partly why, because I just feel like I haven't had time. But I'm not someone who, also, if I do have time, TikTok is my place that I go. What is your guys' place? Like, I feel like there are, like, people are Instagram people are TikTok people, YouTube people. I'm just not a TikTok girly. But the article says the latest fitness trend going viral is helping introverts navigate the weight room and overcome gym intimidation. There are almost 500 million views for the Shy Girl workout on TikTok. The Shy Girl workout is comprised of exercises you can do either at home or in a corner of the gym without much equipment or space. Basically, a workout you can do without drawing unwanted attention to yourself. It says they created them specifically after hearing from women that they were scared of going to the gym, whether it was because they weren't sure how to do movements like lunges or squats, or they were worried that other people would judge them on their performance. I love this trend, you guys. I love this trend so much. And I'm curious, do you guys feel this way in the gym? I am a big, I was going to say advocate, but that's not the right word. I'm a big user. I'm a big doer. You guys know what I mean. I enjoy going to, that's probably the better way to say it, group fitness classes. And I feel like even that can be intimidating, but usually it can also be, people are typically, I feel like, generalization, but super nice in group fitness classes, especially the instructors. They want you there. So I think that also could be a great way to kind of navigate some of this. And they do talk about that in the article a little bit, and where a lot of the intimidation comes in is going into the weight room. And I can relate to, again, I don't want to generalize the like gym bros, right? Or like, who is that girl lifting those weights? Or, oh, she's only lifting that much. And it also could be, sometimes those are stories we're telling ourselves, right? We don't necessarily know that's true, but whether it's true or not, that can be a barrier to someone getting into a fitness area and doing strength movements, which are so important, especially for women, and strengthening our bone health and preserving that and getting, functional muscle strength. It's so important. And so I just thought this was great. And they talk a little bit about how the goal of this is to kind of like, okay, you don't have to, they talk about like you can do these in any space, kind of like in the corner of the gym. The goal isn't for you to stay hidden at the gym, but it's a way for you to be like, okay, I can start here, and then I can kind of build up my confidence. And maybe you start to see people using machines, or you start to, feel comfortable going up and asking the person who works on the floor if they can show you how to use something. You just start, I think it's great, a great way for sustainable behavior change. And I'm always talking about this with the clients that I have in the society. And I do everything. When I teach someone how to live with no food rules, we do it in baby steps, because that is sustainable human behavior change. And it's a lot of the times not what you see on social media, especially with learning to eat with no food rules. Everyone says, just get rid of your food rules all at once and just let yourself eat. That's not going to be the most sustainable form of behavior change. It's going to be very confusing. I did it at first too. For some people it works, yes, but for most people it's very overwhelming. And I think that can absolutely be applied to the gym too, specifically with workout routines. I mean, we tend to go from like 0 to 60 with those, where it's like, oh, we, you know, are hardly moving our body, or we're only doing certain things, and we're going, all in with this new fitness routine. And that is so taxing on your body, because movement is practice. If you're not practicing something, then it's going to feel hard. And if it feels really hard, you're probably going to want to quit, right? So baby steps is key. And I just thought this is great. So I'm actually going to open this article because I want to they give some examples of the types of workouts to do. So let me just scroll. So this is 2 sample shy girl workouts. It's funny when you go to look at these types of articles and then they have all of these ads and it's just like for stuff that's like totally opposite. Like I get that a lot too, where people will say, I watched your video on not having food rules and not dieting, and then a diet ad came up. I don't have control over every single ad. I do when I can put stipulations around it, like don't do weight loss, but ad companies, and this is also important too, just for general, like when you are setting like your ad preferences on any social media platform, which you can do a lot of times, people can like classify their ads as different things. So they can slip through. But here are 2 sample shy girl workouts. So this says perform each exercise, and all of these are linked in the description, you guys. So if you're like, oh, I want to do that, Colleen, go down. You'll see the link to this. So it says perform each exercise for 1 minute and repeat the circuit 3 times. So it goes jumping jacks, crossbody reaches, butt kicks, plank pikes, mountain climbers, and tuck ups. The article, oh, there's some more reverse lunges, bent over rows, squat curls, and shoulder presses. Or maybe those are 2 separate ones. Yeah, those are 2 separate ones. But those are some samples, types of workouts or types of movements that you can do. So like I said, I'll link to that if you want to give it a try. But if you are someone who you're like, I would like to, maybe get more physical activity in my life, but I feel like the gym intimidation, it's such a good phrase, is a barrier to me, highly recommend checking this article out because this could be a great thing for you. Okay, I'm excited to chat about this one. This is story number 4. It says, candy cravings, question mark. Watching someone else scarf down sweet stuff can reduce urges, a study says. So the article says, a study published in the journal Scientific Reports showed that people who watched immersive videos of other people eating candy had a significant decline in craving it. One group of participants would watch an immersive video of someone eating M&Ms repeated 30 times for a total of 8 minutes of viewing, while the control group watched a video of a single coin being inserted into a laundry machine 30 times. After watching, the researchers would offer M&Ms to look at how repeated exposure to these videos affected a person's craving for candy. They found that those who watched the candy eating videos had about 1/3 less candy, 32 to 38% less candy on average, about 3 pieces less. M&Ms are small, so also we'll get into my thoughts in a second. Compose yourself, Colleen. Hold. Okay. Compared to the control group, suggesting that repeated exposure to the eating videos makes the person believe that they themselves have consumed the candy, reducing the hunger for it. The researchers clarify that the reduced cravings were due to habituation, an effect that reduces a physiological and behavioral response as a result of repeated exposure and stimulation. Okay, I wanted to talk about this for so many reasons because my first thought when I read this headline was, oh my gosh, okay? And there is a phenomenon with people who struggle with disordered eating and dieting where we really like to watch full days of eating, right? People who struggle with that tend to really like, and I experienced this too in my disordered eating days. And I also think it's kind of funny because I do put out full day of eating videos to explain the why behind your food choices. And let me give you the rundown on this. If you are new, I actually just put one out on Tuesday. Go back and watch it. But I do think that full days of eating videos can be very helpful when you explain why you're eating something and the focus is taken off of what and how much you're eating. I personally keep things very ambiguous I'll link it in the description for you too, you guys, if you want to watch it. I keep things ambiguous, like specific serving sizes, and make sure to explain the full why on why I'm eating something so that you understand how to make food choices with no food rules too. But so like I get my first thought was like, oh my gosh, are we going to be exacerbating that, right? The people who are struggling with disordered eating to watch more of these videos and just kind of further this disordered habit. But so the idea of this study came off of mukbangs. I don't know how to say that, you guys. But it came off kind of the heels of that. And they were, I think if I'm correct, they were expecting it to be the opposite, that you see people eat, you're going to eat more of these foods. And then my interest was piqued even more when they talked about habituation, because habituation is something I teach my clients in the society. So let's break this down. First of all, let's discuss habituation. So habituation is the repeated exposure to something, and the more that you're repeated to it, the less kind of like exciting it is. It just kind of becomes normalized. So if we think about it, if we are on a diet and we don't let ourselves eat, let's use M&Ms, right, that they're talking about here, and we don't let ourselves eat M&Ms. When we are given M&Ms and told that we can eat them, they're going to be super exciting. We're going to be like, I don't get to eat these a lot, so I'm going to eat more of these, right? When you introduce the process of habituation, you allow yourself to eat the food, then it starts to become like, I can have M&Ms all the time. Why would I eat past fullness or eat a bunch of them, right? Now, here's one thing I really, really want to hit home with habituation, and that you see a lot on social media. A lot of people will say, just go get a bunch of M&Ms and let yourself eat them. They focus on eating at one time, right? And saying, let yourself eat the M&Ms. Eventually, you'll become habituated to them. You won't want to eat them anymore. When people just take that advice, a lot of times we eat a ton of M&Ms at once, right? And then we get a stomach ache. And yes, that's one way that you can go about doing it. That is not the way that I recommend and explain habituation. I recommend, if you're in the society, you're very familiar with this, what I call touch points. It's not necessarily about eating that specific food in a large volume. It's more about how consistently, yes, I'm not going to put limits on this, but it's more about spreading that food out and having those touch points on it. I'll link in the society if you're like, let me hear more about that. What that does is it allows you to not necessarily have to binge those foods in order to become habituated to them. So I was like, habituation, that's a process that I use as well. And here is my thoughts on it. First of all, we have to think about the relative amount that they're saying someone ate less. They ate 3 less M&Ms. M&Ms are teeny tiny, you guys, right? So just remember, it's not like they are like not eating the M&Ms. It is not a giant effect. Yes, when you say 32 to 38% less, so someone ate like 9 versus 6, or yeah, I think that'd be right. Ish. It's not that big of a difference, right? But what I think could be happening here is that when you see someone eating M&Ms over and over, you're like, it's okay to eat an M&M. It's okay for me to eat those things, right? And then so when you're exposed to M&Ms, you're like, you don't have as much of a, oh my gosh, like I should not be eating these, which if you tell someone they can't do something, they want to do it more, right? Hey, don't think of a pink elephant. You probably just thought of a pink elephant, right? Same thing here. So that was kind of my thought process on, okay, maybe that's why this is happening. And another reason why in my full days of eating, I always will show you everything, right? I'm not going to do it on these, a lot of fitness influencers may do it on, I do it on completely random days. And in the most recent one, I had a little bit of emotional eating going on. It was a day, you guys. And we had some cinnamon toast ice cream. So good. You can watch the whole video. It's towards the end. And I explained that process, that I wasn't necessarily hungry. I wanted the ice cream. I'm not going to say, I chose to eat some frozen grapes or something like that. Like, I feel like so often when we see just people eating on social media, it's all these quote unquote clean foods, and, they never, do M&Ms. But when you see someone giving you permission to be like, it's okay to eat an M&M, that can actually reduce your drive to eat M&Ms in excess, right? Now, I don't think the 9 M&Ms they ate is excess at all, but you get where I'm going with this. And so I just thought that was super interesting. And now I also, like I said, did worry that I don't want anyone to think about this and think, oh my gosh, now I need to just go watch all these full days of eating because I won't want to eat those foods at that time. It's not going to work like that, right? There is still, it can't be all psychological, right? Of I'm seeing someone do this. There is a physically eating something component to it. You can't just do all the mind work. Like, you have to actually do the stuff, like allow yourself to eat the M&Ms. But I do think that this was a very interesting thing. So what you could take from this, I think easily, is to go through your social media feed and ask yourself, the people who I'm following, are they only portraying this quote unquote clean, quote unquote healthy form of eating? Do I also have some more of these? I wish I don't know the names of them, but the fun food accounts that do kind of like the crazy combos. Like, I posted a video on my Instagram last week of air fried Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies with ice cream. It was a random video that I saw and I was like, I've got to try this. Oatmeal cream pies were my favorite Little Debbie snack as a kid. We didn't have them often, but oh man, I also really like Star Crunch. What was your favorite Little Debbie? I feel like everyone feels very passionate about their favorite Little Debbie. Please comment below, because there are some that I haven't tried. I don't think I've ever had a cosmic brownie. I don't think I've ever had one of those pink snowball things. So if there's any that like you're like, Colleen, you need to try, please comment below. Handle the Heat. I love her. Tessa, she's a food blogger. She does a lot of copycat recipes, and I want to try her oatmeal cream pies. And there, she has fudge rounds too. Just Google her, Tessa Handle the Heat. She's fabulous. But that was kind of my thought process with this. So, like I said, just make sure, maybe just see, like, do I have some of those social media accounts that I'm following? Because that can just normalize those types of foods for you, and that can have a psychological effect, right? Making you feel like, I don't need to, feel bad eating these foods. Feeling bad eating certain foods makes us want to eat more of those foods, and likely in a binge-like style. I've said this a million times, but I thought that was interesting. Okay, guys, our last story here is story number 5. I love food news, you guys. I just think it's so fun. And my husband actually, I've been touching my nose a lot on this episode. Have you guys noticed that? I don't know what it is. I hate other people touching my nose. Fun fact, but okay, Colleen, stop talking about your nose. So my husband told me this story yesterday when we were walking the dog, and I was like, I know it's on the list for tomorrow's stories. I've been there, done that. Dairy Queen is offering blizzards for 85 cents for 2 weeks as a new flavor drops. So I want everyone to go mark their calendars. You can't do it today. I know, I'm sorry. It was kind of a little bit of a teaser. Like, I was like, cool, let's go do it this weekend. And you can't start it until September 11th to September 24th. Dairy Queen will be selling small blizzard treats for a total steal, just 85 cents. The number is pretty special since it's the year that the blizzard treat was invented. You just need to have the app downloaded on your phone to get the deal. So they also announced some yummy flavors, which this is the one that I want. It is Royal Reese's Fluffer Nutter Blizzard Treat. The treat, which is made with vanilla soft serve, Reese's candies, peanut butter, and marshmallow center. Oh my gosh, I want that so bad. That sounds absolutely freaking delicious. Mark your calendars. You will see me at the Grand Rapids, Michigan Dairy Queen getting one of these, and I am so pumped about it, but we gotta wait a little bit until September 11th. But mark your calendars, friends. I'm super excited about it. There's a local ice cream spot that has the first time I've ever had warm peanut butter in a blizzard. Mind blown, you guys. It is so good. Why is every single place not doing that? Holy shiitake mushrooms, so good. So I am like super excited, and I'm low-key on a little bit of a marshmallow fluff kick. I recently made, I'm actually posting it later today to Instagram, frozen s'more sandwiches. Frozen sandwiches, so good. I also used marshmallow fluff recently when I made Broma Bakery's s'mores cake. Highly recommend, you guys. Broma Bakery s'mores cake. Could not recommend it more. It had a marshmallow frosting and it was so good. And then I was just like, we had some marshmallow fluff left over, so your girl just ate it when she needed something sweet. But anywho, also when we were growing up, always got dilly bars from, and maybe I'll get some of those, just keep in the freezer. I remember my grandma would do that sometimes. She liked the Buster bars, and we always got dilly bars. I really liked the cherry dilly bars. Do you guys know what dilly bars are? I feel like a lot of people don't know what dilly bars are. They're like a disc shaped ice cream dipped, coated, whatever, in like a candy coating on a stick. So it kind of looks like a lollipop, but it's a ice cream with candy coating. Absolutely delicious. Cherry dilly bars, give them a try. The butterscotch is also really good. I remember sometimes my parents would get a couple and keep them in the freezer. Delicious. I could go for it. I'll get some dilly bars when we go there. But that is the No Food Rules news for Thursday, August 31st. It's the last day of August, you guys. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's going to be September. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to like it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video is uploaded. Today, just to give you, I like to give you guys who watch these a little bit of an insight into what videos are coming. Like I said, I will link in the description Tuesday's video, which is a full day of eating on a very stressful day. I talk about emotional eating. It's super insightful, and there's a lot of good recipes in there. And then the video that I'm going to start filming today is I'm reviewing your guys' healthy Trader Joe's snacks. So on my Instagram stories, I asked you guys what your favorite healthy snacks from Trader Joe's was, and I'm going to go buy them, and I'm going to taste test them, and I'm going to review them both from a taste standpoint, but also from a registered dietitian standpoint. And are they actually as quote unquote healthy as we think? I say quote unquote healthy because I don't believe that any food is healthy or unhealthy. I'm going to explain that in the video, spoiler alert. But how nutrient dense are they is what I mean when I say quote unquote healthy. Okay. So with that, you guys, I'm going to clean up. I'm looking at these towels on my floor right now for my coffee. I'm going to get a little bit more coffee before I do that, clean that up, and I will see you guys back next week. Will be the next video, full video that's uploaded. I post shorts all the time, but I will see you guys back next week for the No Food Rules news, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope you have a lovely long weekend if you are celebrating Labor Day or doing anything fun. I hope you have a great day. And remember, let me give you a couple reminders on that note. You do not need to earn your food. If you are eating, going to a cookout or anything like that, you do not need to earn your food. You do not need to burn off your food. You do not need to go on a diet after that. What I recommend is just asking yourself, if you do eat more of the soul nourishing foods, as I call them, over the weekend, ask yourself, what do I need to feel good? What does my body need? What is going to feel good? And let that be your guide. Still listen to your hunger and fullness cues. If we cut back, it's just going to lead us to the bingey feels. I would also recommend watching maybe it was like 3 weeks ago now, I posted a video about food FOMO. That would be a very good one to watch. Also, if you have not, which is all about FOMO, fear of missing out. So like, let's say you go to a potluck and you're like, I'm not hungry, or maybe I'm full, I ate my fill, but there's this delicious food here and I want to eat it. I feel like if I don't eat it now, I'm going to regret not eating it, or I'm going to miss out on the experience. I have a whole video that will walk you through that. So I will link both of those in the description, probably after the stories, for you guys to watch if you need a little bit more of the content. But okay, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for being here. I love you all, and I will see you back next week. See you later.